Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a concept that honestly challenges the status quo of automotive sales. Stop the monthly marketing reset and unlock the power of social saturation. Look, if you're an executive or an operator at a car dealership right now, the material we're breaking down today confronts what might literally be the single biggest fatal flaw in your entire growth strategy. Dealerships pour massive amounts of resources, time, and creative energy into reaching their local market, right? But there is this massive structural leak in how the industry handles momentum. We're going to explore a pitch directed right at car dealers surrounding a strategy called social saturation. It proposes a totally different way of operating, stopping this vicious cycle of throwing all your progress out the window every 30 days. Let's jump right into the core of the problem. The source material points out a painful, undeniable truth that so many dealerships just accept as normal. Your marketing resets every single month. I mean, think about the absolute absurdity of this for a second. You spend 30 grueling days building awareness, capturing attention, hustling for those end-of-month numbers. And then the calendar flips to the first of the month, the whiteboard gets wiped totally clean. You are completely starting from scratch. It's incredibly exhausting, not to mention inefficient, to run a business where your primary engine for generating demand operates with zero memory of the hard work it did literally yesterday. You can really think of this dynamic like an amnesia treadmill. On the one side of the equation, your old campaigns equal lost momentum. All that traction you gained, the micro-engagements, the people who almost clicked but didn't quite make it to the lot, well, that momentum just vanishes into thin air the second the campaign shuts off. And on the flip side, new campaigns equal zero memory. Dealerships spin up fresh creative, they buy new audiences, and basically act like their business just opened its doors for the very first time. You're running as fast as you possibly can, but you're structurally designed to stay in the exact same place. So how do we break that cycle? The proposed solution here is called social saturation. And the source frames this not just as, another platform feature or some minor tweak to your ad budget. No, it's pitched as a fundamental transformation. Social saturation completely shatters the reset cycle by altering how a dealership targets, reaches, and retains its market presence. It basically takes that 30-day treadmill, unplugs it from the wall, and replaces it with an always-on, compounding engine. Okay, so how does the strategy actually kick off? It begins with massive scale, 100,000. That's the baseline number of conquest recipients this strategy targets. The whole approach relies on absolutely saturating a specific target area with a baseline of 100,000 people who have literally never been interacted with before. But, and this is key, instead of just blindly blasting messages out into the void, the system adds in your existing first-party data to help build and anchor this massive audience. What you get is a vast, highly saturated net of potential buyers sitting right inside your exact geographic footprint. And this builds step by step into a relentless machine. Step 1, as we just saw, is to saturate the target area. Step 2 is where the actual activation happens, coordinating your email and social. The strategy means hitting this huge, saturated audience across multiple channels simultaneously. This tight coordination generates real, undeniable engagement, which leads us directly into step 3, capturing intent. We're going way beyond just getting passive views here. We are creating measurable shopper signals. And finally, step 4, which is honestly the most crucial mechanical step of all, those measurable signals flow right back into your CRM. By flowing those shopper signals straight into the CRM, this strategy executes a truly brilliant maneuver. It converts third-party audiences into owned first-party retargeting segments. Let's think about why this is such a game changer. Rented third-party audiences are expensive, and they disappear the absolute second you stop paying the toll. But first-party data? That is an owned asset. This strategy takes total strangers from that initial 100,000 conquest pool, identifies the exact ones who are raising their hands, and pulls them securely into your dealership's own private ecosystem. I want to pause right here on this specific quote, directly from the source material, because it carries so much weight. Your marketing starts to remember shoppers. Just let that sink in for a moment. Contrast that with the zero-memory treadmill we were talking about earlier. When a system successfully converts those third-party signals into owned first-party data, your marketing suddenly gains a memory. It knows who looked at that specific SUV last Tuesday. It knows who opened a promo email but didn't click. It remembers. And because it remembers, it can finally act intelligently. And here is exactly what that memory looks like over time. Instead of dropping off a cliff at the end of the month, the entire timeline changes. At month 1, campaigns don't just stop, they evolve. At month 2, retargeting continues seamlessly right across those traditional, arbitrary monthly cycles. And by month 3 and beyond, your audience intelligence deepens significantly. There is no more guessing. The data gets richer, the targeting gets incredibly precise, and your relationship with the shopper remains completely unbroken. This brings us to the compounding climax of social saturation. Let's rapid fire through the real-world benefits the source promises for dealerships. First, demand compounds. Your audience actually grows instead of constantly resetting to zero. And because it grows, it captures way more demand. Because you aren't starting from scratch every single month, it massively improves your operational efficiency. And ultimately, what do all these things add up to? They drive measurable revenue over time. Social saturation takes disjointed, stressful monthly outreach and turns into a powerful, living lifecycle ecosystem. The source material leaves dealerships with a very definitive choice. Stop resetting and start compounding. I mean, why choose to wipe your memory clean every 30 days when a compounding engine is right there for the taking? The strategy culminates in a super clear call to action, urging operators to reach out to David Rozek at 630-290-1319 to actually implement this system. It really leaves you with a compelling question. What could your dealership's revenue look like 3 months from now when your marketing finally remembers how to do its job? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.